All right, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of the What the Sheep podcast, where we will be discussing episode 105 of Campaign 2 of Critical Role. I would like to welcome my wonderful guests, Kirli and Alana, who will be joining me as we freak out about the insanity that was last night's episode of Critical Role. I'm still riding that adrenaline. Let me tell you, it's that episode was a ride. But we will get to all of that. But first, we shall begin talking about the wonderful plan that Jester Lavore came up with, and that was trying to get the dragon turtle on their side. Oh man.
So damn good.
I
think you could see the cogs turning in Matt's head. He's just like, oh no. Like,
Yeah.
what if this works?
Yep.
Oh no. A little bit. That would have been incredible. Yeah. So.
And she was so close because I guess the DC was 20 and she rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, like, because then it probably would have taken time to get there. They would have then, I wonder if we would have gotten to the fight this episode then, if they were then waiting for it to come. They might have then thought, oh, well, we can go to the village while we wait for him to turn up. But just the idea of, like, I like how they were saying they had two plans. They could antagonize him or they could try to persuade him. And even still halfway through, I don't think they knew which one they were doing.
Yeah.
I think they were doing a bit of both. But yeah, that was a brilliant idea. I was so disappointed when it didn't work.
Yeah, I wonder how it would have played out. It literally could have gone in so many different directions.
Oh yeah. So many variables.
I don't think Vokodo and the dragon turtle would have fought. I think the dragon turtle probably would have just gone in, destroyed a bunch of the ships, and probably just left. And then the whole volcano erupting sequence would have happened again. Would have happened anyways. And then the dragon turtle would be like, alright, see you guys later. I got nothing to do with Vokodo. Unless... Because I don't think... Did the Mighty Nine even tell the dragon turtle about all the treasure that Vokodo had?
No, they just said ships.
No, it was really confusing. Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like their biggest like talking point. Or like diplomatic topic for trying to bring the dragon turtle to help them out. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We almost had a dragon turtle versus Markoth fight.
Yes, Panhead in chat just said it could be like when Vorogul fought the Yank, when Vox Machina brought the Yank in to fight the ancient white dragon. It's like, oh, that would have been cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no. Yeah, 25 words is hard.
I like those moments when they're planning, when one of them like goes, this is just like us normally. And I think that this episode was one of those episodes where they're like, where somebody, I can't remember who, said like, this is how we make decisions. Like this is how this works normally. And you could see like Marisha trying to cut through, trying to make like what's the actual decision gonna be.
Yeah,
and
be
like
really
Travis
clear on our plan.
Yeah, and Travis is like really diplomatic, making sure everybody's got a thing, and then surprised when like just completely not the plan happens, but then it's like, okay, let's go with it. And you can just kind of extrapolate like their business dealings from how they negotiate before a fight, and then like not do that plan.
Yeah. I mean, they tried really hard for the Dragon Turtle plan. I feel like
they did.
I feel like they planned last session a little bit. They were talking about how they might be able to fight him. They did it a little bit this session, and then they focused all their attention on the Dragon Turtle. And I think when that didn't work, they're like, oh, let's just go in. Let's just go. I mean, with the boats, but still, they're like, oh, let's just go in. But there was a joke somewhere in there when they're talking about the Dragon Turtle, and Caleb called it Dita, and Taliesin made a joke, and I encourage everyone to go back and watch it because no one at the table reacted to it. I think maybe no one heard him, but it was the funniest fucking joke. He said, they're talking about Dita, like the name Dita, and Ford's like, oh, what does that mean? He's like, oh, it's nothing. It's just a name. And then Caleb jokes, oh, it stands for dragon turtle. And Caduceus goes, oh, that's convenient. And I was like, fuck, that's a funny joke. And no one at the table reacted. I was like, oh, fuck, I love Caduceus. He's just super low intelligence.
That's convenient.
Great joke. Go watch it back because his delivery is much better than mine.
No.
But yeah, no one at the table reacted. I was like,
I plan to go back and read all. Next time I do a rewatch, only focus Taliesin, because I swear I've slept on how good Taliesin is from the start, and like had other kind of like fave characters, but I need to go back and I need to see all Percy quips, I need all Molly quips, and I need to like appreciate Caduceus from the start. I'm such a fan now, and I'm like, every time he just comes up with the most incredible stuff. And even just the most incredible stuff. I thought that I really liked the Jester speaking Zemnian was like a real highlight for me.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Anytime that gets brought up, like how his Zemnian accent is like the strong German accent, but when he's speaking Zemnian, he has his regular accent. That's like such a cool kind of roleplay thing. But it's always so jarring when he just starts talking with an American accent in character. You're like, oh, okay, cool, let's do that thing again.
Also, he's like doing a different American accent. Right?
Yeah, I think he's putting it on a bit clearer, maybe.
Because it always sounds kind of, I don't know, like crisper or clearer or something. And
But that was very cute.
Yeah, that's a very nice Jester and Caleb exchange. I'm always a fan of those. But Caduceus has so many like just subtle jokes or just things he says that like go under the radar but are just like peak Caduceus.
I feel like we're back though to around episode 40 Caduceus, where it's like someone needs to talk to Caduceus. Because I remember watching back during the pirate arc, and they did eventually, but they're just like, they need to talk to Caduceus. Caduceus is going to leave. I don't think he's going to leave now, but they need to talk to Caduceus. He's had a bad time of this.
It's been this island has not been kind to him.
No.
Oh boy.
It's like it's comedic at this point, but then it's also sad because it's like, it just keeps getting worse.
It's just so specific to him.
And then
around water, like the water just keeps fucking him as well.
And then this is okay. I just realized this thing now. This is jumping ahead a little bit. But then when he got bamfed away during the Bokoto fight, he was like peaceful. He's like, "Oh, this is nice. This is fine. It's so much being in the astral sea with no friends in sight is better than being on that island."
Yep.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that too. Kind of like just a moment of peace to myself.
Yep.
That was very cute. Oh boy. Yeah. No, the
island not being kind. Sorry, I was just gonna say the island not being kind to Caduceus, and even like jumping ahead, Yasha like failing more wisdom saves is just one of those examples of when the dice really like serve the narrative. Like it really fits that this island being so like kind of corrupted, like would sort of jar with like a wild mother cleric. Like it kind of makes sense. And like Yasha, although it equally would make sense if it was getting better, but like because the dice are being dumb, you can kind of you can still lean into the fact that she's still like not sure of herself and like still susceptible.
Those were some dumb dice though for Ashley last night.
She was having a rough night. Did she land a single strike? I can't remember. Maybe it was like one. No. Like she hit once.
No, because she got to swing once. I think she only got to swing once, and it was a reaction. It was an opportunity attack, and I think she missed. Someone can correct me in chat, but I don't think she actually hit because she raged, but she didn't get any damage in, which sucks. Especially like she had freedom of movement. She was ready to go. She was their heavy hitter, and just like nothing.
Definitely heartbreaking, especially after her her dream and stuff.
Yeah, that's when as a DM you're kind of like, oh, maybe like you like have advantage like because blah blah blah. So just
so
have another
angry.
roll, and then it's another like it's like 5, and you're like, nah.
Are we all jumping onto Ben at the same time?
Yeah, well, there we go. There we go. Just all a day's work. Yep.
Cool. Oh wait, there's another one.
Oh no.
I got it.
Oh, you got that one?
We're good. Chat is clean.
Easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
One other thing before we move on, just keeping on talking about the planning and everything. I'll never not love sending. Sending as a spell is great. Sending with Jester is incredible.
It's a gift.
When she said like, "Oh, I need a plan. I need to rehearse," and she started, and then she's like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it live."
Oh god.
It's beautiful. Like, I'm so happy because planning's fine, but impromptu is much better. Improvisation's much better. But yeah, that was just a fun little thing.
Oh, and we also. Oh no! Go ahead. I was gonna say something stupid.
Like, obviously the DT plan failed. How do we feel about them burning the boats?
I don't think it was a good idea.
I don't remember how. Why can some? What was? I've forgotten the like reasoning. Was there reasoning? Why?
They were trying to draw Vokodo out, like anger him, draw him out, so that they could fight him outside of his lair. And fight him in that space. And the original plan was to have the dragon turtle to fight in that space as well, but I think they wanted to fight it somewhere it wasn't in control.
But they kind of were like, Villia was like, this is like like when we give the people their memory back, this is like their livelihood. Yeah. And then they just went ahead and did it, and like, we might actually need a boat to get out of here. And then they still went ahead and did it anyway.
But as Ford said, there's just things, and life doesn't need things to live.
Yep, life does not need things to live.
Such a good callback.
Did that really happen? Oh, I need to rewatch this episode.
Travis started to say it and couldn't finish it.
And then Sam picked it up. Oh, it's good. But
yeah, I agree a bit too. That's like they might need those boats. Like the fact that they're like, I caught it at the end. Like, one's called the Fiona. Like, what if there's someone on the island whose like wife was the Fiona, or like is named Fiona, or like, you know, it's a special sentimental boat, and they'll get there like, oh, all these boats still survived. Where's my love? Where's my Fiona? Like, that's gonna be a hard scene.
My issue with it, I thought it was a great scene, but my issue with it was that it kind of made things worse for them. Because as soon as it didn't work, like, oh wait, Vokodo's not coming. Well, we got to go to his lair anyways. And now he's already pissed off. And now there's no chance for like a conversation. Now, as soon as they get into his lair, they have to immediately start attacking because Vokodo's now pissed off because a bunch of his ships were just burned. Rather than if they didn't burn the ships, they may have been able to get there, maybe have a conversation with him, or maybe catch him off guard somehow, but I think
that's the risk. I think they talked about, like, what they were going to do. They said, like, if it, like, I think they might have said, like, if it doesn't work, we're going to just have to attack. But,
I think...
Yeah, that... It was, I was going to say I was on the same boat. I was happy, like, I thought the boat burning was a good plan. Like, it could have really worked.
Yeah.
I was upset, well, not upset, but I was, like, a bit, the fact that it then led to them having to fight straight away, it meant they didn't get, like, a monologue. They didn't get to talk to Vokodo, so we didn't really get any kind of major last kind of statements from him so much. Like, he didn't get to talk before the big fight.
Oh, you thought there might have been some lore like that they could have
Well,
gotten.
no, well, I feel
a-
like we got some lore. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
True.
But I feel like there could have just been a bit of a back and forth, like a bit more of his role on the island, how he
Mhm.
viewed his villagers, things like that. I thought that would have been a cool thing
Yeah.
to talk about. But alas, that's just how
Yeah.
it goes.
Because as we know, most of the things in the story so far have been morally gray. So
Yeah,
we may have learned more about Vokodo's situation and how he's not a
yeah.
purely
I think
malicious being, even though
yeah,
they
I
are
think they
chaotic
still
evil.
would have.
But
I think they still would have fought in the
oh yeah,
end, but I just
oh yeah,
would have. I thought like last minute not last minute, but a last conversation would have been
Mhm.
cool just to see what
yeah,
see what he would have said. Or have Villia have some kind of like big emotional reaction to it, like
Mhm.
say like "fuck you, you've kept me here 20 years," like
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
but
some
but oh well.
rage. They had a lot of half plans. I really did like though.
No.
I really did like that. Caleb burnt a bunch of stuff and didn't have to do a wisdom saving throw and was just like was relishing in being a pyromaniac and not being like, I don't know, he likes burning stuff. That turned
Yeah.
out bad in his life, but now he's
Mm.
like redeeming it somewhat, and he's like, this is actually
Yeah.
pretty fun once you start. And he's just like,
I
I
think
get it.
I'd be interested if if he had to make those saves anymore, or even if he did, if the DC would be kind of so low. I think it would have to be someone close to him or someone from his backstory. But I think Matt said like he's grown enough where he doesn't really need to make those saves anymore when like he when he attacks people. So
Yeah,
which is
Jeff's
good.
also right. It wasn't like against a person.
Yeah, I think it's
So
got to be a
maybe,
humanoid.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's fun. I do like though pragmatic Caleb and what's another word for him? Like pragmatic Caleb and kind of on task Widogast, as Bo would say. But the fact where he's just like, I've got a job, and he's just doing his job, he's just burning it, and they're just talking, and he's like, I start burning the other ship. He's like,
Yeah,
he's just like, yeah. What he said to
Yeah.
Yasha, like, once you burn one ship, it's really hard to stop. That was very funny. But yeah, I appreciate that good humor.
I felt like we got a little bit too close to the thing that I was most worried about on this island, which was Caleb losing his memory and therefore being happy. Like
We talked about that last episode.
yeah,
we got so
yeah.
close. I was like screaming. I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Don't do this.
Oh
It was a lot
man.
more subtle than like I thought the roleplay would be, but I feel like that was worse.
I know.
Because just the subtle things he said about his like body movements and how he kind of just like
Sits up a little taller.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
And then when the memories come back and he's like, no, this is better. This is better. Like, oh god damn it, man. Like,
You really gotta do
cool.
this to us, Liam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's so. Oh my gosh. Liam is the king of angst. That's
Yeah.
that's just it.
Yeah. Give
He
me
knows.
the
He knows
give
how
me the
to
Liam
do
drama.
it.
Give me the Caleb drama.
But I'm here for it.
Oh,
I'm always here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As sad as
Oh,
it
yeah.
is, I want more of it because
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah,
It's so good.
I just love because in the past, I think in a talks or something, he's talked about how he can just string out the pathos in give him one sentence, and he can just by the way that he talked about the fact that he does it on purpose. Like he can just do it so slowly and so poignantly, any sentence and I love when he does it because I'm like, you're doing the thing, you're actively you're actively creating pathos in this moment.
Yeah. Nah, it's so fun and painful to watch. Anytime there's kind of Caleb grief, which is why I'm just so keen to
I know.
get to his arc. Get to his
I feel
story.
like there's still stuff we're missing from his backstory. Because didn't he mention that he killed someone of Trent's?
He
Was
killed
this
one of
just the
Trent's-
person that was at the asylum that he already mentioned that he killed, or is this someone completely
Yeah,
different?
yeah.
Okay.
I think that was like a bodyguard or like someone keeping watch
Okay.
on him.
Okay. I don't know if there were
But-
like two different people that he killed.
Yeah,
But we
I
still don't know who like gave him his memories back, right? Or like who
Yeah.
like
True.
cleared,
Yeah, we don't know
who
that.
healed him.
We know. I think we know that they were of the Arch Heart. They were a follower of the Arch, or like the symbol was Corellan, I think. Then
You're
Maybe
saying
you
things
I
I've
missed
never
that.
heard before. Yeah.
I think because remember when they were in not Shady Creek Run, Lavender Swamp, and they found all the religious symbols. He said, "I want to find the one from the woman that I know."
Oh, wow.
And they found. I think it was described as Corellan's. Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
right.
deep.
Wow, that's
a deep-
Which is
like
not
episode
like a big thing.
24. That's like super early in the campaign.
It's not a huge thing. It's just that's
Yeah.
one of the prime deities in Wildmount. So probably a cleric, but you know.
We need more.
I did.
No, go ahead, Keely.
Oh, when they were talking about counterspell in the final fight, and they were like, "You're the DM. You could just say counterspell doesn't exist," and he was like, "No, it's really good. It's good." And then they were joking. Liam was joking about like, "Yeah, it's not like we're gonna have like an archmage fight.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, that's gonna include lots of." And it's like that's definitely a thing that has to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's like, well, I can't wait to throw magicians at you.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Because you can. Oh, boy. Imagine.
Yeah, you can counterspell a counterspell.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, imagine the Mighty Nine having to fight multiple members of the Cerberus Assembly at the same time. And, like,
Oh,
Trent
they
goes to
wouldn't be able
cast something. Caleb counterspells. Ludinus then counterspells Caleb's counterspell.
Ford counterspells.
And then
that,
Ford
Ford
counterspells. And then Vesterogna counterspells that counterspell. Oh my god.
We called
that's
it.
like
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen
that's
in
like
that
a-
exact order.
It's like a Magic the Gathering thing, right? Where you like
Yeah.
go like
Yeah.
card. Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. We're jumping off topic a little bit from the episode, but
Oh, of course not.
we need to see, or well, I want to see. Oh, my camera went all fuzzy.
Larry.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like, oh boy, I'm worried that Astrid is like heavily under the influence of Trent, and that whole conversation that they had back in Rexingtrum was not fake, but Astrid was maybe given a job by Trent to like keep an eye on Caleb while he's around, and maybe Trent's like using Astrid to manipulate Caleb a bit more. But I feel like that conversation wasn't 100% genuine between them. And there's definitely still
Yeah,
some stuff
I feel
going
like
on.
that conversation was 100% repeated to Trent. Like
Yeah.
that. But there's another really fun Astrid theory that I've read. I'm not sure. Like I've not thought too much about it because I kind of just like the idea that Trent is still with that Astrid is still with Trent.
Mhm.
But there's a theory that Astrid is slowly poisoning Trent. Because of like his jaundiced appearance, like maybe she's trying to kill him and take over the top job, but because she poisoned her parents. But I don't know, that's long.
Yeah,
that's
I
long
remember reading that. I remember reading that as well because Matt made a like specific like, and it was unclear whether he was saying that just so that you kind of, I don't know, like to paint him as the villain and like wanted to describe him in kind of a way where you didn't like him.
Yeah.
Or whether like he's like, no, this guy is like not well.
Yeah.
It's such a power move. Panhead, you brought this image to my mind of how Trent is manipulating, influencing all of Caleb's friends. It's so interesting because obviously if what we're saying is true about Astrid still, working for Trent and trying to get information from Caleb, and as Lynn was saying, trying to seduce him and stuff like that, that's Trent's way right there, saying, yes, I still have control of Astrid. And then when they went to go verify that they had the beacon, guess who was there? Eowulf.
Yeah.
I bet Trent specifically asked for Eowulf to be there just again dangling Caleb's friends in front of his face, saying, "I still have control of your friends. What are you gonna do about it?" Or like they're still with me and you're not. So who's really in the wrong here?
What
So
if they meet like a
gross.
16-year-old or 17-year-old or like an 18-year-old that comes like to assassinate them or fight them or something, who's like the next generation
It's like
of
it's
people
gonna
that
be like Kainen 2.0.
yeah,
Pretty
like
much.
that,
He's
like
yes, another young mind.
I really need to see them like tear Trent to pieces.
Oh yeah.
I'll be very happy.
Oh yeah.
But before that, I want to see some feeble minds get thrown around. I want to see some like dominate person get thrown around. Like, give us that slightly bit of give us that angst before we get rid of Trent.
You want to see
Pretty
him
much.
punished, Alana?
No, Caleb.
Oh, you want that angst? I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I need
Somebody
the
also
Caleb.
somebody Cool Cat pointed out that he doesn't have his necklace anymore, and that is terrifying. Yeah.
Well, he will. He will next
Oh yeah,
session.
he will get it back next episode. Hopefully.
But
It's
he's
on-
been susceptible to like. I guess they kind of knew
But
where he
so
was
have all
anyway.
his
'Cause they
friends. Yeah, they could just
Yeah.
scry on Beth. And...
Okay, I will say that if there were, because obviously if he has tried to scry on Caleb before, hasn't worked because he has the necklace. So obviously he wouldn't keep trying as much since he probably still has it. However, given how they like a few days ago, maybe a week ago at this point, I don't know, just settled the war between the two nations. Around this time would make sense for Trent to try to scry on Caleb again just to see what he's up to following the everything that happened.
There is the other like it kind of came to a head a little bit when they were in Rexentrum, but you're still not sure what Trent's motives were.
Yeah.
That maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he just doesn't care about Caleb anymore.
Yeah,
It's all been in Caleb's
that's also true.
like paranoid head that like it is a big deal, which is even more heartbreaking if it's just like
that is messed up.
I never
That's
searched for you anyway. Sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
expendable.
expendable.
Like, I killed one of his men, so he's got to be angry with me. I don't think Trent would give a shit. Like,
yeah.
One guy, so what?
Yeah. Unless there like really is actually something special about Astrid, Aedwulf, and
yeah, because
Caleb.
they're the three kids from one village.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, because that's also something we don't know.
Yeah, gosh. Oh gosh.
All right, we should probably get back on track. There's a lot of juicy stuff in this episode. Sorry, this almost turned into a Caleb podcast. Which, well, I mean, that's all.
Tune in after What the Sheet.
Yep.
For the Widowcast.
What the Sheet after dark. It becomes the Widowcast podcast. But anyways, we had a lovely evening before the battle with Jester's Heroes Feast.
Fancy feast.
Which was very reminiscent of a particular scene from the movie Elf, where all the food was just candy and sweets. And... Hey,
that's
I'm here for it.
That's so cool. I like the one salad.
Yeah,
a couple of
with sprinkles.
Yeah, it's very clever. Yeah, I love Heroes Feast is so cool. And I remember because Vox Machina used to just do it all the time. Because they were so loaded. They're like, we've got like 10 chalices. Let's just have a Heroes Feast. But it once again, the Mighty Nine feels so much smaller and so much kind of homemade, I guess. So when they do have a Heroes Feast, it's like, oh, this is some pretty powerful magic for this group of fuck ups.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point that you bring up. I think it's mainly because we've been with the Mighty Nine since the beginning. Since they were level 2, and we've seen their power progression. But with Vox Machina, we were already with them when they're like what, level 9, 10, 7, around there. 7. So already fairly strong.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got to see their power growth, and then whenever big spells like this happen, it's like, man, they've come a long way.
It feels bigger. You're right. It feels more like. Yeah, more of a big deal, and I think that's one of the reasons why it feels like, oh, you might not end up fighting gods, you might end up like bringing down a terrible established regime,
Yeah.
because if that feels more like possible, but they could potentially end up with gods, but like because we've been with them since they were just like
Babies.
nothing, it's yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like thinking about Endgame.
I know. Oh, I like to think about it. I like to
I was
speculate on
thinking
what
of
it could be.
Yeah,
But
I was thinking about it this episode, but we'll get to that.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
you don't like thinking about it because you don't like thinking about the fact
Yeah, I don't want the campaign to
that
end.
it will end. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean,
fair.
I'm always excited for new characters and new campaigns, but
Mhm.
like, I feel like and I feel a lot of fans will be like this. No matter where they end, there'll still be things. It's like, oh, but they didn't explore that, or they haven't talked about this thing. Like, there'll
Mhm.
always be that little thing of, um, like, obviously just wanting more because it's an excellent story and excellent characters.
Mhm.
But
Were
I
there
trust them to, tell the story.
were
And
there a
finish
lot
it.
of like loose ends in campaign 1 that were like, I really wish they'd finished up that.
Not major ones. Actually, not really. No, they had a pretty set list of things they had to clear up.
Mhm.
Um, things that would have.
Nico,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making a fairly wild video at the moment that will come out soon. And yes, one of the things that they could have explored that they didn't was the fact that there was a trapped soul of a Gith
Yes.
Yankee
Yeah.
in the skull, and
Skull.
that could have mean planescape travel. Just saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's a loose end, I guess.
I also feel like it's hard for us right now, or a reason why we wouldn't want to think of Endgame is because I feel like it's so hard. I feel like we're right around the halfway point or just past the halfway point for the campaign.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of things that still need to happen, but I feel like towards the end, once people's story arcs have been covered, then we'll be like, okay, I would be okay if they started their final quest line, fought the big bad, and then it would end, because I feel like there's been closure for most of the characters and story arcs and stuff.
It's a shame Phil's not here because he often talks about how like when's the Chroma Conclave of this season kind of going to happen, and to be fair, I'm always just like, oh, I don't think there's going to be one. I feel like there is one coming.
Yeah, especially with the
and I keep saying I'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
I'll talk about this later, but I've got theories, man, of like what the Chroma Conclave of this campaign is going to be, and I feel like we're getting to it.
Yeah, and
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So then
I just keep hyping up for the end of this episode.
I know. There's so much.
The
but I guess now we can talk about the amazing character development conversation we had during the Hero's Feast with I just dropped my pencil.
Story stuff everywhere.
Dropped my pencil. Where Jester finally got to open up to the party about her overall feelings and stuff, which is a pretty powerful moment, especially for her since she's always been the one who puts on that like brave and confident mask when she's with the party. It's usually only when she's talking with one or two people that she shows more of of her internal conflict and stuff. But this was like the first time where she like broke down in front of the entire party and really opened up about her internal thoughts about the Traveler and what's going on and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was like the fact that I feel like you can tell when Laura Bailey's gonna start crying. It's heartbreaking. Like, I know, like she'll get really quiet, and you're like, oh, she's gonna start crying.
And like her nose gets red. Her nose gets red. It's so cute.
I can't do
this. It's like sad, but it's like, oh,
it's so beautiful. Like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, because it comes from this very cute and innocent voice.
Yeah.
It's super soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's lovely. But I obviously super enjoyed everything about that scene because we've been saying like she's had those one-on-one conversations with people. She's spoken to Bo, she's spoken to Caleb, she's spoken to Ford, but it's the first time she's like really publicly expressed her doubt about the Traveler. And it is essentially like a crisis of faith that she's having, which is like a hard thing to go through. So she's actively speaking and seeking help with it, which is wonderful. But I love Bo saying like, "Oh, I thought that'd be a really easy question." Like, but I think that's just Marisha going like, "Oh, we need to have this conversation." Which is really good. Nice way of doing it.
Yeah, I agree with Lynn. Like it's interesting that, well, yeah, she's still like hedging her bets. She's like, no, he must like there must be it must be okay. Like there must be a way of thinking about it where this is all right, and that is kind of like that sunk cost kind of thing where with faith where like, oh, but I've given so much of my life and lived so much of my life by like this person's ideas and like following and what they say, and if that's wrong or if I'm wrong, that means that means I have to be a whole different person. And like I really like the idea that that a lot of the power is her own. I really like that a lot. And I uh I hope that's where like the whole concept is going. It would be really interesting to see how Matt like what Matt does with like classes and stuff around that. But
we talk a lot about that kind of cleric power coming from an idea or a value or something, which is exciting to see.
But like this whole conversation, the party saying like you were the one who made him, not the other way around, and all this stuff, just lends to the theory that Jester will become the Traveler. That's all I'm saying. I've been saying it since like the beginning of this podcast has ever been created.
It has to be her idea. If the Traveler's just like, oh, I'm done with this shit, Jester, will you take the mantle? I feel like she'd be like, oh yeah, but I want that to come to her. I want that to be her plan. But just going back to again what Liv was saying, like how she still trusts him. I think it's harder for us as viewers because all the times I've seen the Traveler and then obviously the Traveler. He's like super creepy and super dickish and you know funny, but you know, we know kind of the character from our perspective. We forget that she's had the 25 years, however old Jester is, not super old, with him. Like one-on-one, she has a lot more experience with that character than we have. And he was like fine to her before pretty much Travelercon came up. Travelercon's been the real selling point for her concerns, I think. But he's always been a bit flighty. He's always been bit not present.
However, also a darker take on that is that because she was with the Traveler for so long, that gave him more time to plant the seeds of manipulation. Since
no, you know, don't like it.
She was so isolated all the time.
Take my point back. I was saying it in like a really sweet kind of way.
Yeah,
like,
it's really creepy when you look at it in different lights.
Yeah, because she always talks about how he was like a little kid as well, but we know that he's like thousands of years old. Like, ooh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's wonderful to look at it in Jester's mind how the world is sunshine and rainbows, the Traveler is the best, but when you look at it realistically, like the rest of the Mighty Nine have been, because they don't seem to care about the Traveler very much, Bo even said, listen, just say the word and we'll kick his ass.
Yeah, and Ford was saying, I think it was Ford, but he's like, we're not, actually it might have been Caleb, but like, we're not here for the Traveler, we're here for you. Like, we don't care about the Traveler, we care about you.
Yeah. It's sort of like, it's sort of like when your friend has a really crappy boyfriend and you know they're crappy and your whole friendship group knows they're crappy, but you can't tell that person to break up with that boyfriend because then you'll just push them away. So you just have to be supportive and tell the truth until they realize that that's a crappy boyfriend, and then you're like, okay, now we've got your back. And
unless Traveler hurts her, then I will kill him.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's very.
Yeah, I've definitely completely blacklisted the Traveler. He's an incredible character. Love
Yeah.
it. No, completely gone.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
does.
he's
It
a
from an
creep.
outside perspective, it does look very toxic, and it again, it's like it's still a lot of speculation because we've only seen hints of his deception and stuff, especially the big one being how he knew people lose their memories on this island.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's I don't like the Traveler either, but it's so hard for Jester because the Traveler and the relationship she's built with him is all she's ever known. So it's going to take a lot, and I believe the domino effect has started of her trusting the Traveler less and less, while she still does now. Once Travelercon actually comes, we'll have to see where she ends up standing. Because even with this conversation, she did seem pretty darn hesitant with her confidence in the Traveler.
Yeah.
But
That's.
John. Oh, you go, Kier.
I was just gonna say this. I really don't like Twitch names. Green Unknown said if the Traveler tries to distance Jester from the rest of the group, yes, that would be really bad. That would be interesting if that happens, and if they keep on being kind of openly like
Against
we will
him.
literally kill him, then maybe he'll send her on a like a task away or something. And yeah, that would be another real big red flag.
Yeah. But yeah, similarly, but John Belief says like he is an immortal, yeah, like arch fae. Their morals are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Like yeah, they don't have
Yeah.
kind of like regular morals, but it's still dickish behavior. It's still
Oh, yeah.
you're not a good friend essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think even if he's been with Jester for 2 decades, he should at the very least know that.
Right.
Know
Like
this-
just because
this is
something.
how you'll lose her
Yeah.
if you keep being a dick.
Yeah. Just because something isn't bad for him doesn't mean it's not bad for other people.
Yeah, 100%.
Ugh.
I still just think about like the concept of Vox Machina figuring out that he's just like they must know he's in the material plane. They built the damn door for him, but them just getting like a memo saying the Garmili is now a god. Like just like fuck, what the fuck? I just
What?
imagine Percy with his morning coffee like fuck.
Yeah, it's like the news headline on the newspaper.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's just fun. Some of my favorite jokes, post Vox Machina jokes, are just home life Percy. Just Percy kind of
Yeah.
living like there's the one of like him just knocking a sign into his yard saying no adventurers here. Like yeah,
But
that
it means more for Percy, like those memes. It means more because it's Percy, because of like he went through some shit.
yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of Vox Machina did, but Percy in particular, he had a rough go.
Yeah.
Did you
so
see
it's
the one,
nice.
Alana?
There was one
where,
last night,
like,
actually, I read one.
Sorry, do you want to say it? Because I think I read the same one as you.
Yeah, it was Kev Dak Prescott on Twitter said, Percy's like, I don't want to make weapons anymore, just a nice clock tower. And then the Mighty Nine say, hey, turns out the Brywoods had some equally crappy friends. And it's got Percy gets into his clock tower mecha.
Yeah.
It's like perfect.
That's so good.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna put that in chat for people.
Oh my god.
Like,
That's amazing.
We should move on, otherwise we're never gonna get to the
Yeah.
insane end of this
Okay,
episode.
But the next big one was
there's major things to talk about.
was Yasha's dream. So good. The imagery, the metaphors, the symbolism, the similes, other poetry-related terminology. It was
that's right.
it was good.
I cried.
Yeah.
I cried.
I think all of us probably went to Twitter to make sure Wesley was okay, or
Yeah.
Keegan.
I did.
Keegan. Wesley West is their handle.
Yeah.
Wait, Wally West?
Wally West.
Wally West.
Yeah.
I absolutely did go message him when that happened, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
'cause,
alive?
yeah, because they're really
I did a fill and recorded myself last night while I was watching it, and there's like a range of emotions where like she's doing it, and I don't often scream at my screen, but I was talking to the screen.
Yeah.
I was
Same.
like Matt's like there's a column of light and like a bolt's coming down here. I'm just like stay there, stay there, stay
Yeah.
there, stay there. Like,
It's like
and
reach
then,
out for it, accept it, stand
yeah,
your
he was like,
ground.
grab the feather, grab the feather.
Yeah.
Like not that aggressive.
Yeah.
I was a bit more
Yeah, right.
quieter, but
and
I was
then when he was like describing Zoala down there, I'm like,
Oh,
you don't need to go down there. Don't do
so
it.
like,
good.
Don't do it.
yeah, I was like, no, fuck that, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I do really, really appreciate like Matt, like just letting letting Zoala be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds awful, but like it's so
good.
important narratively, and it works so beautifully. And and my heart broke. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, what did she say? What did she say to Zoala? Like, I have to go.
I don't want
or something.
Yeah, she says I have to go, and Zoala's like, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to like chain you down.
Yeah, don't let me be your shackle or something. Ah,
That was it.
The chain metaphor, like the fact that
I
she's got
know.
these strong chain metaphors because she was with the Cold of Irons, and it is like a shackle. It's just so beautiful.
Such a good scene.
But I'll say again, like Matt, like because everyone says Matt Mercer's the greatest DM, and like yeah, I mean there's a lot of different ranges of what type of DM you want. He's an excellent DM. I think his strength is he's an excellent storyteller. Like he's a better storyteller than he is a DM. Because like I mean he's a DM. Like DMs make mistakes, but his storytelling and his way to describe a scene and create the narrative for his characters is like insane. Like I watch a lot of D&D shows. I've played in a lot of games. His ability to incorporate their stories into the setting, into the environment. Outside of D&D, he could just be writing a book about this, and it's beautiful. Like, his pacing, I could go on and on about his storytelling ability outside of Dungeons and Dragons. He should write a book. I know he doesn't.
And he manages to do it. Because I love Brennan, as well, and Brennan I think is an incredible storyteller. And do not come for me, anyone, but I feel like Matt has a different flavor of DMing where there's a little bit more like a little bit more player agency, and so the story can go in a lot more different ways, whereas Brennan has more of a set plan, pretty much for where things are going. So the fact that Matt can do this incredible narrative storytelling when literally they can do the most wild things is really interesting. And like he really like shows off that when they're in a dream.
I love that kind of laser focus of Yasha, like you're bringing a dream to me. But yeah, I agree. Like Brennan is like an excellent DM, but like obviously for storytelling as well, but like for a different reason than Matt Mercer. Like his knowledge of D&D is strong. His DM setup is strong, I feel. But yeah, they're also good. I love D&D. D&D's great.
Yeah, D&D's amazing. But just like the mental picture that Matt painted for that scene, and then the wings, the wings becoming feathered, her then flying up towards the light, looking out over Exandria as she's flying. So good.
That was I love that line of like you see Exandria and you feel a freedom that you haven't felt before.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna share what's their handle? Black Salander.
Oh yeah, Caio Santos.
Yeah, Caio Santos. I don't know how they I don't know how they create such amazing art so quickly. I'm gonna post.
I wonder if they have like they kind of pre-guess what's going to happen, but this was a little out of the blue, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I posted the link in chat of their picture of Yasha's dream. So good.
I wonder if they just have like the assets ready to go, like if they've had a picture of Yasha kneeling with wings and then they've quickly done the background. Because the background's
maybe.
like, I don't want to say it's just paint tools because obviously it's fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
But they do it so quickly. Like that was posted at 2:17, like my time. That's 2 hours into Critical Role last night.
Yeah.
Like it's just happened, that scene then. Like that's about an hour after that scene happened. Or not even that.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
And then
the
I'll post the
mood of that picture is incredible.
So good.
But then she didn't get a chance to bamf out potential full wings. Not yet.
They're in the water. Immediately have a water fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Soon.
Pretty much.
And then we really will have to check on Wally West.
I know.
Oh lordy, so good.
So amazing. Any other closing thoughts on that one before we get into the juicy juice?
The juicy juice?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm on board with Yasha's redemption.
Oh,
That's
so good. But
it
again,
kind of then was fucked by what happened in the fight. But
true.
That just happens.
But what's great is that Yasha has reached this pinnacle moment in her story arc, but there is still so much to her story. This is really just the beginning. Now that she's healed and begun that healing process and stuff, now it's like the real challenges are going to be coming, because now that she's reached this point, she has to hold it. She has to keep it.
And I wonder if we're going to get any, like, I feel like probably not, because it's a weird thing. If we're going to get any kind of backstory to her Azuma roots, like, will we learn why she's Azuma? Like, is it something Cord did? Did he pick her specifically? Like, because there's so many ways you can play Azuma heritage, and it's exciting to see what Matt or her have decided to do for that. If we do see that, that could be like just something we get at the end of the campaign. They just tell us. Yeah. Should we talk about the fight?
Yeah. So, for me, until the end of the fight felt very rushed and anticlimactic, because they didn't get to have that like final monologue or exchange with him before the battle happened. So we just like jumped into it. Oh, okay, we're fighting already. And it probably felt a bit anticlimactic in the beginning because things were going very poorly for Vokodo. Like the grovel,
but I feel like they weren't doing damage. Like when I got to the end and Matt's like, "Oh, he's looking pretty hurt." I'm like, "Is he like? Have they hit him that much?" Because I know Bo was punching him a bunch, but I felt like there wasn't much combat, like, or offensive combat anyway to begin with. There was a lot of how can we control the situation? How can we control what's going on around us? Which is fine, but it was like, hit him.
I think they did like over like 400 points of damage to him, which is pretty.
I don't know how I missed it. I can't even think of like.
It was a
where
long
that came
fight.
from.
It was a long fight.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, there were a few instances of damage that did a lot. Sneak attack being one of them. And then
I was genuinely very worried in that fight that that lots of people would die. Like I was like, oh, are they gonna get punished? Is Matt like because it seemed like if they touched him, they got hurt. There were like the water was hot, so they was getting hurt. Like there were lots of things that and everything was like at disadvantage. Like all like heaps of attacks were at disadvantage because it was underwater. It just felt like if they hadn't have, if they hadn't have heroes feasted, because then they
the like got important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like I was genuinely like, we're done. This is like only two people are walking out of here.
Fight started, but like
Yeah.
probably within 20 minutes of the fight, I was like, oh, this is okay. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think he did many attacks. Like, he did a lot of kind of running away,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of try to take control. But I think apart from maybe trying to bite Yasha, he didn't do many like physical attacks. The damage was from like the fire damage, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what else like he did. Like he tried to do chain lightning, which would have fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like, yeah. The chat's talking about spell reflection. Spell reflection is
I mean,
so
But, like,
I've actually didn't know that was a thing in D&D. Like, I have not come across that, and that was amazing and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
terrifying. And the fact that Kay disintegrated party member.
Yeah, I put
Just
that in chat before the episode, like a few days ago, because I read it online. I was like, oh fuck, oh that's bad. And I was talking to, like, because Kira, you're talking to me about it, and we're trying to rationalize it. Like, no, it'll probably be fine. It might not happen that way, and then it happened almost immediately that way. Like, yeah, that
It's
that
like-
would have been bad.
There's
would've
two
been-
sides to it.
Well, it
One,
might not have been.
yes, why would he do that? Liam, what the heck? The other one, I am so glad he did, because it created an awesome moment. Not only for like players and audience, but also like narratively as well and stuff. Like screw you, Liam, for making us feel this way, but also that was amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Why are people asking, why did he do that? Is it because he did it after we already knew that he could bounce spells?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I understand. Yeah, why, Liam? Oh, because
But it was so good.
how incredible, how like would the rest of the narrative be if he'd actually disintegrated one of the Mighty Nine?
And people are saying, like, who, because Matt said he had picked someone already. They were saying, who do you think he would have picked? On my hypothetical card with all my theories, the top thing is just Caleb disintegrates Jester. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% sure that was going to be Matt's target.
But it might not have been too bad, because he did say it was like 70 something points of damage.
Yeah.
But that's if you fail. So the person would have had a chance to save, in which case they would have only taken half.
Or did they homebrew it? Because I think if it misses, it or if you save, it does no damage. I don't know if they've homebrewed it now. If it misses, it does half.
Half. I think disintegrate does no damage if it misses. Okay, yeah, then ooh, it would have been a really bad save. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Bo and Not have high dex. It would have been bad for like Ford, Caduceus, or Jester to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yasha's like a HP tank. She would have been fine, I think.
Yeah.
But Bo was low, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think when Matt was like, are any of you above like 72?
I wish I hadn't asked that, because I felt like that got that in their heads. Like,
well,
but, I mean,
the DM part of me, because I also had like a pretty like deadly battle in D&D last night. The DM part of me was like, is he legitimately being like, I would not like this to immediately kill some, like was he like kind of actually trying to think, or was he just stirring? Like,
no, I think he said he had chosen who. I think he had chosen who it would target. I think he was just saying, like, I'm getting an idea of if this fails, if this person, because I don't think he would have been like, oh, Laura, what's your HP at?
Yeah.
I think he was kind of asking generally to see if the person it was going to target would die from it.
Which is also why I'm pretty sure Laura didn't say anything, because when he asked that, like, everyone piped up except for Laura. Like, she looked at her player card and then didn't say anything.
And Sam's like, you don't know, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Matt was prepared to kill one of them. Like, if it came down to it, like, it looked like like he took like a deep breath, like, because Liam was like, it did like 72 damage, like Matt did like a deep breath. He's like, okay, I'm ready for if this fails, I'm ready to have to kill one of my players.
I feel like
he is a just god. He when it has to happen, it happens.
Jester
Yeah.
would have been like the role play the best choice because it would have
Yeah.
led to an amazing arc, I imagine. Like, as you got to think how the Traveler would get involved. I see people saying that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Like, it would have been amazing if Jester had gotten it, but some of the louder aspects of the community would have been unbearable. Like, they're already kind of a bit hard to read at the moment, but
because like
the
go
stronger
ahead.
critics would have been a little bit unbearable at that point, almost to the point where it's like, I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. It would have been heartbreaking, would have been dreadful, but
Awful.
I feel like they're just at the point, obviously they don't have true resurrection or wish. I feel like they're at the point where they could figure a way around it, like get the Traveler involved somehow, like I don't know,
potentially.
Oof.
Like
Oof.
I agree with like 99% of the sentiments that people have about that Caleb thing. Like, did not make sense in character. Caleb with a 20 intelligence, knowing that there's a reflective thing, seeing the state his allies are in, there's no way it makes sense that he would cast that spell. Totally agree. But I still think that whole moment was amazing.
Yeah.
Just because it created that tension. Like I love tension in the D&D games. Like whenever there's tension, like, oh yes, this is it's getting good.
Had it happened, like all of the characters would have been within their right to say to Caleb, what the fuck? Why did you do it like
100%?
Like, yeah. Oy.
Yeah, I definitely held my breath for. I also recorded myself. So maybe we can make a thing, but I definitely held my breath for a lot of that.
I was good because like I was watching it and I was like I fiddle with things when I was watching, so I think I was fiddling with like a tape measure or something, and then when Matt rolled, because in my head I was like, I was just like, yeah, this could be bad, yeah, someone could die here, and then when he had such a big reaction to his roll, I'm like, oh, it's probably a 1, and then it kept going on, I'm like, but it might be a 20.
I know.
I started to freak out.
That's a good point. That's a good point because Matt had Travis like look at it, and then like Travis was like looking down. He would not make eye contact with anyone, and I was like, no. Like I thought Travis was like having a breakdown, like because he was not looking at anyone. I was like, oh no. That's what made me start to really pay attention, because like, oh no, this can't be it. And like the way Matt was describing like that situation happening, the spell hitting that reflective shield. I was like, no. And then he's like,
just
it
clip
fails.
That part of my video because it's like he says the reflective shield where it stops. I was like, oh, fuck.
I know. I was like, no.
I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like I was holding my breath so hard.
Oh boy. Yeah. No, that was
gracious.
Excellent point in chat, and Kira, you've responded to it. Yeah, saying how talks Mark and I, how much we miss having it, and Linda's saying it would be great for Liam to be on to explain his decision-making skills. I get it. I get Caleb is a risk taker.
I also think Liam did it because of the reasons we're talking about. Like, it would create a interesting scene. Like, Liam wanted this scene to happen. He didn't really care what in character.
Because Liam knows that spell kills. Like, Caleb might not know the full extent of the spell for all we know. Like, he might just think, oh yeah, disintegrates stuff. Like, we can maybe fix it. But Liam knows that it would permanently kill a character. That's still kind of a little dickish even as a player. Even if you want to say, like, sorry if that's rude, because I love Liam O'Brien like so much, but that's still like you're saying like I might potentially kill one of my friend's characters. They can play the game how they like. I think that's a little bit of a dick move.
That's true.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think it's very Liam, and they've been playing at the table with him for he's like, this is what my character would do, and he doesn't do ones like that are too like over the top. but like when he's kind of like, okay, he kind of like just gets into the stream of like what the character will do and just
Hmm.
this is what it is. And I agree. Yeah, Talks Machina. I have never, when Talks Machina was on, I never wrote a question. I've sent them like 5 questions, even though it's not on. Just like shouting into the abyss, just being like,
Yeah.
ah!
I wrote
Yeah.
one question and like it was answered, and it was like within the first like 10 episodes of this campaign, and then I
Oh, well, I need.
and then and I never.
I write a lot of questions. I never get my questions asked.
Oh.
Sadly. Mr. Gift of the Week over here.
Oh, yeah. It's the happiest I've ever been. I'll
No.
never be that happy again.
Oh my gosh.
Lynn, you haven't had it. Wait.
Yep. All right. This
You
is now a
haven't
therapy podcast.
Lynn hasn't had a question answered on Talks Machina.
Lynn
Are
should
you
be
serious?
focused. Like, there should be a Lynn episode of Talks Machina.
I know.
That's abhorrent, Lynn. I'm gonna make a complaint. Wow.
I am sliding into
bad.
Brian's DMs right now.
Petition for a Lynn episode because
Don't you know
If
who this
if you
person
guys
is?
don't know, if you're just tuning in,
Yeah.
Lynn is one of the curators of the Crit Roll Wiki.
Yeah.
It does such an incredible job.
Yeah.
It's so good,
Yeah.
but just
And-
currently on What the Sheet, she is our expert compendium of knowledge.
Pretty
Also,
much.
like, would not be able to make videos without
Oh,
using the
so-
wiki,
So
True.
good.
especially for how things are spelt. Anyway, I appreciate knowing how things are spelt correctly in Matt's fantasy world. The getting bamfed into the astral sea,
Oh,
guys,
that
was
yes.
incredible.
That was cool.
Those, yeah, they were fun. Like the banishment was fun, and you didn't
Yeah.
expect really to have fun in that fight.
And like if there was a spell to get reflected, banishment was a good one
Not too dangerous
because they can end it
Although
immediately.
Polymorph would have been hilarious.
That yep.
Like Bo almost got polymorphed.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty funny. Yeah, but yeah, just the fact that they're in different sections of the astral sea. I'm wondering if that massive shape they saw was what was referenced towards the end, or if it was just like another being, because like space whales. But so cool. Anything astral sea, I'm on board. Just
Yeah, that whole plane of existence is super fascinating. It's
but
so
then-
esoteric, and
Oh,
just
yeah,
oh.
it's cool imagery.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very much then later, like kind of again DM brain turned on when he got banished, when Ukatoa got banished. I was 100% certain it was going to dispel the banishment, and I hate, I'm not backseat DMing or anything, but I'm not sure if like Matt maybe just didn't think of that, or if there was a reason why that didn't happen. But I thought that would have been such a cool moment with like, yes, we banished him, he's gone, and on his turn, I'm back.
Yeah.
Like,
Sup, fools.
but yeah, and they'd be like, oh shit, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But
Is
I
it
don't know.
is it weird that I was like, this is probably just me being an empathetic person, but like, I felt bad and like sad for Ukatoa
yeah.
when he came back, and Matt was like, you hear this
Yeah.
like mournful like
I kind of wish they'd
scream
talked to
from
him.
Ukatoa, like very sad and fearful. I was like, oh buddy.
I kind of wish they'd talked to him at that point.
I know.
It made me even more
Like,
sad. we
what
didn't
are
get,
you
like, a
so
monologue.
afraid of? I mean, obviously we know now, but
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, he wasn't even paying attention to the damage he was taking. It was just yeah. I kind of got like a scared dog vibe from him.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just more of that Matt leaning into the grey in this campaign, leaning hard, or like maybe there was more grey in the previous campaign, but it just seems more like everything they fight, it feels like you could come out on the side of. Not everything, but a lot of things. You're like,
Yeah.
the war, you're like, there
Not-
isn't a good side here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
God.
Pretty much.
No, it was a fun fight. They didn't die, not not for lack of trying, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Vokodo's
Again,
I think they did.
like overall,
Sorry.
I was gonna say like overall again like it felt fairly anticlimactic. Like I was like you said previously, Alana. Like I was worried before the fight happened, and then as it happened, I was like, oh okay, this is fine. This is okay.
Man. Yeah.
I feel like the last time I was really worried about a fight was the fight in the cathedral with the Laughing Hand, Oban, Yasha, and the Inevitable End. Where there's multiple enemies. Like I feel like when it's just one entity, it's a bit less stressful because they have one round and some layer actions to do something. Every other round they're just getting wailed on by seven PCs. But when there's multiple high level enemies, like in the cathedral fight, the Laughing Hand, Oban, all that, they have to worry about so much more.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe like some minions or something, or some like little things coming to back Vokodo up, or like some other kind of like his lair actions were very like he could use like the hypnosis thing, but I was expecting like some things attacking from the walls and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think they quickly managed the fight. Like there was he was trying to flee a lot of the time, like trying to get away from them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually a good point. I feel like this fight, all things considered, went very, very well for the party.
Yeah.
Like if they had rolled poorly at certain parts, like with the hypnosis stuff, and if they didn't have advantage on wisdom saving throws, the fight could have gone very bad if multiple members of the party came under his influence and only like 3 or 4 of them could actually act on their turn.
Yeah. I think that's what he was. That's like his game. That's a Morgoth's game plan. But they had the heroes. Yeah, they were prepared.
I think that like you're talking about like multiple having like the cathedral fight. It feels to me like the reason why that wasn't the case, the reason why it was just one entity, is because the fight has been with the island. Like imagine if they had rolled poorly leading up to this. Imagine if some of them didn't know who, like they didn't have enough diamonds for like restoration. Some of them had lost who they were completely. Imagine if like the actual like the cult members were sort of fighting against them. They never worked out. Like just like there was so much on this island that's just one big encounter that like could have gone wrong to make this encounter like even worse. And it just, I feel like it's sort of the reason why it wasn't like heaps of different baddies, is because the whole island was heaps of different baddies.
Manta Ray just brought up, and I saw someone earlier in chat bring it up, I can't remember who, saying how his divine intervention, Cad's divine intervention and vision helped them. And I'm trying to think how it really helped them, like, because they got backstory from him, but they used it to formulate the plan of making him scared.
Yes.
But I'm not sure how well that kind of
ultimately I guess we don't really know, and probably won't ever know. But Matt may have roleplayed Vokodo differently because of the phantasmal image that Veth created. And then Matt then roleplayed Vokodo as being a bit more fearful and wanting to run away a bit more.
And I think he did waste a turn, like inspecting it, or like which is like a turn. I mean, that's the thing too. Vokodo lost 2 full turns at least in there because he was rolling, and then that was
so that helped.
Yeah, that's at least potentially 50 plus damage spread across potentially multiple members.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I completely missed something. There's a really good meme now of Sam being like, "Thanks, Keyleth's mom." What happened?
I think that's just a thanks Keyleth meme. Like I think it's a callback to when people used to like rag on Keyleth a bit.
But like, what
Like,
did
oh,
what did she do?
oh,
I don't know.
She did the lightning and it reflected and damaged people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so it's
Okay,
like,
and
oh,
then it was like a, oh,
yeah.
this is her key fish moment. Yeah, okay, I get it. That's pretty funny.
Well, it was, yeah, kind of.
Wait, what if?
Yeah.
What if Matt chose Villia to be the target for whatever reason? Probably never would have, but what if?
I bet he did. I bet that's who he picked.
Like just to like subvert our expectations of it being one of the members of the party, he just chooses Villia.
I would have been more mad about that than any of the, like, not mad, you know what I mean. But I would have been more like upset about that than I think any of the player characters. Because I feel like player characters, they can figure it out. They'll work on it. They'll make
so let's think about
it. But
it makes sense for Jester because Jester was the one who banished him back to the place where he escaped from. So it makes sense for him to want to kill Jester. But also, Villia has been on the island for a very long time. They have more of a rapport, and now all of a sudden she has betrayed him or whatever. That's kind of how I see it. And then
she was a whale, though. That is a good point, Flux.
She was a whale.
She was.
Yes.
So
wait, did she drop? No, she dropped her storm thing. That's what she dropped.
She dropped her storm thing. I'm just wondering how much HP a killer whale has.
Ah, that's also true.
Because she also, I don't think, took much damage. I think she probably would have been okay at the very least. Because
that's true.
She's lower level than they are. She might have less health, but then a killer whale has a lot of HP, so she would have been fine. She would have been fine. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I rescind my anger. Oh, she shifted down. Was banished. Oh, I'm mad again. All right, sorry.
Are you ready for I want to say something before Alana says her theory that she's been alluding to.
Yep.
So when we're ready for that, I have a thing, but we can, unless there's something else you want to talk about the fight.
No, I think we're all right. Everyone in chat, get ready. Alana is about to blow our minds.
Ready? Right. Wait, I'm going to
make sure you're sitting down. Make sure you have a cup of water so you can hydrate.
I should have made like a little tinfoil hat to put on.
Yep. Grab your tinfoil hats. And Alana, if you see a red laser pointed at you, duck for cover because this is the big one.
One of the people I follow on Twitter, Durman, she quoted saying like, I wish people would get into a like critical role instead of another like real world conspiracy theory. You get just as many conspiracy theories, but they're harmless and lead you to gushing about your new friend's galaxy brains on a Thursday night, you know, instead of like being a terrible person in the world with like really harmful conspiracy theories. So like, I'm here. I have insane conspiracy theories. I'm here for it. Alana, you have the floor.
Here's the thing. If you've seen my Twitter, you know what my theory is. But it's just... And look, I'm not the first person to say it. But I came to a few of these points. Like, what's the term where you come to just a thing that's already known but by yourself? Anyway, I figured some of this stuff out. I was pretty proud. No, there's a term for, like, when, like, two people on different points of the world invent the same thing. Like... Anyway, that's not the point we're talking about here. Not confirmation bias. Maybe convergent thinking. I don't know. Either way. Oh my god, guys. What the fuck? Eyes of Nine? Eyes of Nine?
Yeah.
There's so many things for Eyes of Nine.
I don't know what that means. Like I did like a double take listening to it. I was like, wait, what? Eyes of Nine? What?
So, here's my thing. Here's my list.
Alright, here we go.
Eyes of Nine. Two possible things, but they might be intertwined. Possibly. We could look at it. We have the demigods. Alright, the demigods from the Trayer gods. Dicerat, Ukatoa, Quajoth. I had to look it up. So they had the three orbs, the orb eyes things, right?
Yeah. Add
those together. How many we got? We got 9. All right. So that's the one. That's one theory. That's one that's kind of, you know, we can talk about that in a second. Oh god, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm rambling. But the
do it.
Let's talk about fucking Mollymock. He had 9 eye tattoos. All right. He had 9 eye tattoos. Not long means 9 sides. They were searching for a city. Right? His group, the Blood Hunters, they performed a ritual. which was searching for a city. That is what Kree said. All right, and then like they had to find a spell to get them there, which we assume Vesterogna did, right? I think that's a theory. But if it was astral projection, it means that their body appears dead to the people around them, and just their astral self gets projected. So Kree's like, "Oh, you're dead," but he was astral projecting to the city. Maybe he lost his mind there, and so when he came back, he's like, "Oh, I don't fucking know anything. What the fuck?"
Oh shit.
Like,
I think that's probably true.
Like, like, and then it might relate. Like, I'm not even talking about what the city is, because who fucking knows? It could, like, Spelljammer, Mind
Wait,
Flayers,
are we saying that the
but,
mage, the wizard lady that helped the ritual is Vesterogna?
I think so. That's always been my theory, anyway.
Okay.
That's my less crazy theory, is that it was her or Dulan Tversky. Which would be really cool. Because, yeah. But either way, or Astrid. Or Astrid. I'm leaning more towards Vesterogna or Dulan Tversky. But either way, I'm gonna
Wow.
You know, I'm gonna go down now.
I am sold. Like,
yeah,
right? That's too many coincidences. That's too many.
But then I think it has to link to those. I think it has to link to the demigods somehow. Like, it has. Well, it doesn't have to, but
Maybe.
they have been there since the start of the campaign. Have you guys heard the thing about how, like, the circus performance at the start is a description of the 3 demigods?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then also Tharizdun. And there was some foreshadowing.
Yeah, like the idea that they have these 3 orbs each, or these eyes. Like, they're described as eyes. So total, there's 9 eyes there to be found. The fact that Molly had 9 eye tattoos. Taliesin at the end of the episode, like, says to Marisha, "Have you figured this one out yet?" And then he says, "Oh, chat's freaking out." You should go back and watch it, because Taliesin, like, Marisha sits there and goes, 9 eyes, 9 eyes. And he goes, "Oh, have you figured that one out yet?" And she goes,
shit.
"No." And she goes, "Is it something we've heard this campaign?" He goes, oh yeah. Like, he knows. He's on board.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly, Deadly Clay. Taliesin said on stream. Guys, it's fucking going off. This is insane. This is endgame shit, I think. Like, this has got to be... So anyway, back to my point. Sorry. This is why none of my family members watch Critical Role, because I'm fucking insane about it.
This is great.
Back to my original point, bringing back Phil, the Chroma Conclave. I think this could be it. They're going to fight Deseret. They're going to fight Ukatoa. They're going to fight the Worm. And I think they're going to head north next, go to Islecross, where the Worm is, fight the Worm, find some eyes, get links to Dulan Tversky and Vester.
So do you think maybe because of all these connections with the demigods, Tharizdun, because isn't the Astral Sea kind of in the realm of Tharizdun? Like, no, he has like influence over the Astral Sea or something?
He's in the abyss.
He's in the abyss.
But as the John Belief just said, Zahir, who created Ukatoa, his followers live on a floating city in the abyss, in the Astral Sea, which I don't think is this city, but in the Towers of Night. Yeah, we don't know what the Towers of Night is. That's the thing. I'm not sure if it's a city or not, but Zahir has got shit there. I mean, who else is there? Torog, the Crawling King, we don't know much about him yet. Asmodeus, we don't know much about him. So
here's the endgame that's happening right now. Because of all of the foreshadowing of the 3 demigods and Tharizdun, since they be the first episode of the campaign.
Yes, 100%.
Tharizdun is getting the gang back together. He's getting the Betrayer Guts back together, and he's ready to bring upon the second calamity of Exandria.
Honestly, I've been saying that for a while. I feel like we're going to have
a second calamity coming.
And it would be so mighty 9 that their campaign ends with a calamity.
Clearly.
For they are calamities. Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm okay. I'll just like...
No. I would just like to feed into this for you.
Oh, please do.
What is one of your yeah, I'm gonna enable you. What is one of your video ideas regarding the moons?
Oh, it's not that exciting. Oh, no. Okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah, the fact that Rudius...
Because Rudius, there's all of these... Matt talks about the fact that there are these like beliefs and rumors that Ruidus is part of the plot of the betrayer gods, which is like what you're talking about, but also the theory that it is like an old piece of like arcano tech, like one of these floating cities or something,
Big
and
egg.
that parts of it are falling off and falling to Exandria. Things are falling from the sky. Many
The
things
Luxon.
could.
What if the Luxon's from
Lumps?
Rudius?
What
if it's an evil thing?
Oh no.
What if somehow Ford also fell from the sky, everybody?
Okay, that's your crazy theory. That's your crazy theory.
Ford is from the moon.
I know that's your crazy thing.
He's half orc, half alien.
That's a little crazy, Curly, I have to say.
Yeah, alright.
I have a full-on documentary coming out about the moon, Alana. You watch it.
I know you do. I know you do. But yeah, I think we're gonna get some Molly backstory stuff.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it.
Me
because
too.
I think Molly's gone. All right.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Put the code in chat. But Nonagon's story is still there. I want to know.
Oh god, that's because then how far back does this go with Nonagon? Like how much of a part does he have in this whole thing? If his name is Nonagon, like that in itself is deeply connected with all of these 9 things, and they're the Mighty 9.
Yeah,
it's just so much.
9. That's just
there's
stupid.
So much.
Which was just dumb because how did that happen? That's just sure. I'm okay if that was planned, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. That was a fluke.
I'm thinking of all these connections. We have been preoccupied with the chair this whole time, when the real answer, Molly told us. Molly told us in the first episode when he gave the tarot card reading to Jester that the answers were under our nose. We knew them all along. We're just not looking in the right places. He told us in the first episode.
Nico,
he wasn't talking to Jester. He was talking to us.
The only one of the tarot cards that has been explained is the one called the Mirror that has on one side, on one upside down, the one moon, and when you flip it over, in the reflection, 2 moons. It has to be connected. I'm not going to give it up. It's definitely... Oh, I feel so good talking about it. It makes me feel so happy.
Oh boy.
I didn't get the Nonagon connection until you said, Alana. That's really, really interesting.
And I didn't... Oh, one other thing. He said, Matt said, it felt weirdly familiar. The city when they were having that vision of the
I was like, is this like a weird like Shadowfell-esque like is this like Zadash or something?
Yeah.
Or...
When he first started mentioning it, before he said Eyes of a Nine, and I completely lost my mind, I was thinking like mind players. I was thinking this is because he said like collective minds, like the wills of hundreds of people. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm on board. I love mind players so much, and I was getting really strong kind of Elder Brain vibes. And he said, weirdly familiar, made me think of the thing in the Ivory Nightmares lair. You know, the thing that was frozen in ice?
Yeah.
What appeared to be...
Did he say that?
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't say it was exactly like that, but he said, it's weirdly familiar. It made me think of that. Krofferad? Is that the name of... That's the other volcano. What... Lynn, what's the name of that place? But, you know, where Ivory Nightmare was. Like there was a piece of tech, it appeared, frozen in the ice.
And
in my head I was like, that's a fucking Spelljammer, that's Mind Flayer shit. Geladon. But then he said Eyes of Nine. I was like, okay, well everything's out the window now. I've got no fucking clue what this is.
True. But what makes this so insane is that if our endgame is going to be stopping these demigods and Tharizdun, that makes the stakes so incredibly high, because as Lynn says, and I love this narratively, you can't fight gods. You can't. No. Like, you just lose. No. So they have to do everything in their power to stop them from coming back, breaking into our plane of existence. They have to do everything they can to stop that. If they fail, it's over. Like, they're screwed. Like, there's nothing they can do anymore. Like, it's in the gods' hands now to stop it, which is different from the Vox Machina campaign. They did technically fight a god in Vecna.
He wasn't full power yet.
Yeah.
He wasn't in his final form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it was...
And also, they were like 19s. Like, they were...
Right.
Lynn found it. It's Mythburrow. That's where the Gillard one... Yeah. But in the Happy Fun Ball, there was a map of the planes.
Yes.
There was a map of everything. The what's the thing that cuts them off from the god, that cuts the gods off?
Divine Gate.
It didn't have the Divine Gate. That was one of the weird things about it. The second weird thing about it was floating around on that map, like not connected to anything, was a little ruby circle.
Yeah. But that's the one he touched, isn't it?
Yeah, but what was it?
I thought that was...
What was it on the map?
I don't know.
Was it...
I think I see what you're...
A bit of Spelljammer awesomeness?
Was it Rudius? Like... Because Rudius is kind of like a red color.
Yeah, it is.
But because when Ford touched that, it took him to the Blue Dragon room, to the loot room.
Yeah, but it was on a map. It was like a thing on the
map. I know. I hadn't thought of that. Really.
Well, then you should watch my video, and you should make a video of all your 9 things, because I'm already rendering mine, and I can't add those to mine now. Do it.
But I'm just, it's got. I feel like it has to link to those demigods somehow.
Yeah.
There's been too much build up for them, for it not to come to a head, or like some kind of explanation of them. Like we've had like the bit of lore about the purple phoenix. We've not heard anything about the giant worm. Obviously Ukatoa is everywhere in the campaign, but like we've not seen any of the orbs for those other two. We've not seen any of the orbs for the worm. We've seen all the orbs for Ukatoa. We know where they are. 2 of them are in a temple, one of them's with Caleb. But is there a chance that there are champions already of Deseret and Kojoth? Like,
I would put the chances at pretty darn high. Which is another thing we have to worry about now, because while Ukatoa is sealed away for the time being, what about these other demigods? Like, if their champions are not, in a situation like Ford, they could already be almost free.
Yeah, because they're all trapped. They're all like... They've all been locked away by someone, and okay, but now that just makes a question of like, like why? What do the orbs do? Who made the orbs? Because I don't like Ukatoa didn't make the orbs.
Oh my god! Wait, hold on.
He was trapped. He was trapped by the original people on the Menagerie Coast, by the Kinau people. They trapped Ukatoa with the help of other people. So did they make the crystals that had to be put in to release him?
Maybe.
Who made the temple then? Like
what this is?
Okay, it was the Kinau people, but still.
What this is all reminding me of now is this is like an evil version of Pokemon, where Tharizdun is Lugia. And then we have Zapdos, Articuno, and what's the last one? Zapdos, Articuno, and Voltrace are the demigods. And there were crystals in that one too, where they had to like get the crystals for each one and put them back in their respective temples.
If Chain of Oblivion is that, Ho-Oh would have to be the Mighty Nine?
I don't know. I literally just made this connection where like there isn't all these guys. It's literally like an inverse of Pokemon.
Don't do my girl Lugia like that. Lugia's so much better than being the Chain of Oblivion.
Lugia's great.
Just
some interesting parallels. I'm wondering if Matt watched Pokemon 2000 when he was writing the this campaign. He's like, oh, this is interesting.
But I can't. Yeah, I'm 100% on board with the ritual being astral projection because it's a 9th level spell. It's a huge like they needed a wizard to cast it.
Yeah.
It makes your body appear dead. Like that has to be it. It has to be, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is the hill I'm dying on now. That we are getting some Molly linkage.
Oh my gosh. Any other closing thoughts? I'm not even gonna try to top all of that crazy theory and stuff, but any closing thoughts about this episode and what is to come? They do still have to worry about the volcano. It's still erupting.
Yeah, that's concerning.
So
Like, is it actually going to erupt, or will it eventually calm down? I wonder.
Yeah.
Because that kind of destroys any Travelercon plans if the volcano erupts.
Yep. Lynn brings up the water is still boiling, so we'll have to worry about not dying while they're still there.
I wonder if they have any more control waters left, if they can just
maybe, yeah.
sort it out.
I was gonna say, they could just teleport out, but they still have their
Hard to
crew
draw a circle.
and everything still.
Oh, yeah, true.
And they can't really draw a circle underwater, I don't think.
Maybe they can find an
Maybe.
underwater tree
Yeah.
to go through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, don't they? Wait.
Wait.
I think it was already used, but doesn't Caduceus have a tree or like an item that you can just plant and it
Yeah.
becomes a tree?
That's used. That's on the Shore
Oh, okay.
House.
That's right. How could I forget the Jor House?
Because it's been so fucking long.
I know,
since
it's been a while. Been a while.
Everyone's saying we need a spa day back in the Shore House. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think like I think it's the fault of this podcast. We haven't had a chill shopping episode since this podcast started.
We've had
So,
like chill like
Nico,
moments and stuff. But
Yeah,
but now
no, I blame you. This podcast has meant that everything is a lot crazier.
the name of this
Um,
podcast has stayed true every week.
What the
What-
fuck was she?
Yeah.
But
And but the second one, shopping episode, and then I feel like, and I could be wrong, but it feels a bit like being on this island, coming back from the hiatus. It's had a bit of training wheels on, like it like this island has been a discrete kind of thing. We've got lore and stuff, but like there's still like check in with Essek. What the hell is going on with Essek? Check in with like there's the whole world is moving along. How's the war going, for example? So I'm
Week.
totally
Since the
yeah.
meeting.
yeah. So I'm totally happy for whatever, but I feel like getting into the stream of the like that narrative is like a hope of mine, I guess.
I was gonna say like kind of two minor theories, or not. One's a theory, one's just a comment. I'm hoping there's some awesome loot. Like there has to be. He's been around for hundreds of years. He has to have some pretty cool shit. And I'm wondering if there might be like a vestige of Divergence, like in there somewhere. Like I feel like it's time for another one to come in. Like
Yeah.
I
could definitely see that.
That would be super exciting. But the other thing I was gonna say, and I know Nick, I know you wanted to say something, so I hope I'm not like stepping on it. But I feel like for so long, like especially on this show, we've been so excited for Travelercon, and we're like, oh, I can't wait for it to happen. What's it gonna look like? There's gonna be songs and there's gonna be dancing and it's gonna be a great time. And now it's just like, man, Travelercon feels like such a downer. Like this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be like a really emotional time. Like it'll be fun meeting people. It'd be really cool if they brought a guest on, I think, for Travelercon.
That would be cool.
At least for a little bit. A lot
of
people say like it'd be a great time for Brian to come on as like a cleric of the Traveler.
I feel like
It's become one of those failed YouTuber cons. It's just it's bad now.
I feel like they won't bring a guest on until after regulations go away.
Oh, true, of course.
Because
Yeah.
it'll just be too difficult, I think. But I was gonna say that because Vokodo is gone now, they do have now another looming threat potentially, but now they can just kind of chill until Travelercon. The big threat of the island is gone. They have to touch base with everyone back in Vo to make sure they're all okay. I guess they do have to deal with the chaos of everyone getting their memories back.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
That might be a whole
that's gonna
thing. Okay, never mind. They won't be able to relax. There's no relaxing until
We might learn
Travelercon.
who he is, finally. We might be able to learn who that is.
Yeah.
And it's probably just going to be some random person on the island, but still.
True.
And we might see, finally, what's his face? Vandrin.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Did you
Vandor
open
was
the
just on
session?
some, like, fishing trip, and now he's coming back.
There we go, cutting out.
Oh no, you're still here? We can still hear you.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
I'm here. I'm here.
Cool,
I'm
cool,
here.
cool. But yeah, like there's so many like there's so many like little caretaker issues they have to take care of before Travelercon, and then Travelercon is going to be a interesting.
It's either going to be
experience.
like, it's either going to like change the tone of like and be like very positive and great and like fantastic, or it's going to just be depressing and like yikes. This is not what I wanted.
Oh no. But John Believe has just said they have already baited the dragon turtle to come back as well.
Oh my. And the dragon turtle is going to see all of these ships coming, and he's going to be like, oh my god, they were telling the truth.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh, that's amazing.
We need to stop. We need to stop talking. We need to stop putting these things out in the universe. I am cutting us off. That is it. That is
They
it.
tree stride back to the big tree and get to meet Keyleth.
Yep. Next episode, they meet Keyleth and everything is all fun and dandy. And
we might have that conversation next week though about like what Vilya is going to do.
True. Because obviously, I've seen this online and probably in chat before. Obviously, Vilya is going to tell Keyleth about the Mighty Nine. Like, they are the reason I am back. Keyleth 100% is going to thank them in some way. 100%. 100%. There's no way she wouldn't, right? If not in person, in some way, like through a message or...
Keyleth says, like, lets all her friends know, like, oh my god, guys, my mom's back. And Allura will be like, oh, how'd that happen? And she's like, oh, this weird group called the Mighty Nine. And Allura's like, oh,
yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, and then Keyleth could be like, oh, Allura, would you thank them the next time you see them for me? And then Allura would
I feel
be
like it's like a lot of threads, but I feel like that's probably the best way to do it without having Keyleth just appear in the camp.
Yeah.
But who is on the Tal'Dorei Council? That is what we really want to
know. That is the question for next week. Because that is going to do it for unless anyone else has anything else to say. Unless anyone else has any other... I don't want to cut anyone off. But if not, then that is where we shall end this episode. As always, thank you all so much for joining us for this insane episode that we had. Absolutely mind-blowing. So many amazing moments and stuff. Thank you all so much for talking in chat. It's always a great time. Thank you all for watching on YouTube or on Spotify or any other podcast that this podcast is available. That sentence made sense, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I got there in the end. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you may be. And we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.